Hello! No time for the traditional Dwarven greeting, I'm afraid. I was setting up to give an overview of what I'm deciding to call Crev Fest, a season-spanning celebration of Laborlured and the deity that made it all happen. And I do, of course, mean me. Anyway, yes, I was all ready to proceed when I noted something that needs immediate attention. It would appear, somehow, for some ungodly reason, that Degel and Locum are Degel and No, I can do this. Degel and No, it's too horrible to voice. And every time I try, I imagine Locum's greasy little plum tree shaker, and find myself fighting the urge to be violently unwell. Now, I had been noting a distinct lowering in mood for our artistic little sculptor, assuming it had something to do with the quality of her work. It turns out no. Look at her, bright as a button now she's been wooed by Locum. No, this is Crevfest, by the way. Nothing fancy, just force the dwarves to stay within the confines of the fun zones of Laborlured. But anyway, yes, back to the new couple. If Degel has changed, it's nothing to the transformation that Locum has undergone. I mean, he's still a greasy, lustful oversharer with a single-minded drive to go cruising for top, bottom, his words. So, perhaps transformation is a little much. He started to bathe more often, which is to say, at all. So I'm still calling it a win for love. Or lust, anyway. Look at him, so filled with a zest for life that he's zipping around on the surface rather than relaxing in the armoured peach. What are all those cats doing? No, never mind, her quiet drink, What? Why does he keep running to check on the storage pots? Where is he going now? Oh, to bed. Wait, that's not... Oh my... No! Locum, why? You're in a relationship now, you dirty little... You'd better wash your hands. Where are you going now? No, Locum, no. Don't put it in the storage pots, you filthy... Yuck! No, don't put more in. Oh, I just... Oh, I can't. He made 14 more trips to the storage pots on the boat. Now it's back to his room. Stocking back up, are we? That was odd. Almost as though Locum were awaiting orders given by the cats. And again, there. They're certainly very pervasive, but I doubt they're persuasive. Oh, hang on. Locum thinks he's going to store items, but he hasn't any. Just a pickaxe and the clothes on his back. You know, he had the same thought before, but I had sort of assumed his hands were, well, full. Finally going to relax with a good drink. It looks like he's grabbing a mug from the armoured peach, but partaking of the prickleberry wine on the boat. And crying about it. Or are they tears of shame? I'm watching you, dwarf. Ah, Neil, finally a dwarf that is being just as bizarre as Locum. What? Why is she stood in the corner on her own? Supposedly she's socialising. Oh dear, is this what Dwarven depression looks like? Running between storage pots and mumbling to herself in a corner? Well, at least she's still eating. Oh, maybe it was a minor blip. She's heading to the armoured peach after all. Oh, just getting a mug. Well, perhaps alcohol will liven her up. I think not. At least Kib seems to be cutting loose. You'll note that he became our broker as opposed to Cubuck. He's just more talented at it. And the sheer amount of work to do has meant that Cubuck's lack of specialization hasn't meant too much. Kib's still as rude as ever, telling the story of how Nish started Laborlured to a room filled with dwarves who were there when Nish started Laborlured. They seem to have taken it well, though. A decent enough oration will win out, I suppose. Perhaps they took it as flattery. Who knows? Perhaps it was even meant as such. I can't be too down on the fellow. He's one of those who's taken a liking to our quiet thob. It's mutual too, which is lovely. It is rather surprising, considering Kib's background, though. He used to be part of the priesthood. Well, sort of. An orphan left in the temple of Sedal Bodisteel the Silvery in Relic Shimmered's lower quarter. The old monk leader of the temple took him in and trained him. Young Kib swiftly became versed in all 11 soundings of faith, including the uncle's nighttime lament, but was found wanting by his mentor, and subsequently beaten every day of his adult life. Thob just so happened to be the name of the old monk's stick. Look, you can see Kib's eye twitch every time Mebzoth shouts his wife's name. And yes, of course his past is as fabricated as those of any other dwarf in this realm. On that note, I've been hearing some nonsense regarding me being some sort of sick sadist. And to that, I say it's called having flawed characters. Much more interesting to watch a bunch of down-to-earth individuals dealing with their problems in a realistic manner than it is to see Mr. Both my parents loved me save the world with their rugged good looks. Which is another mark in Kib's favour, as he looks like a hairy potato. Talking of potatoes, Cubuck has spent the entirety of Crevfest so far praying to one of the dwarves' silly deities. How she's managing to get up a good level of piety with the dogs swarming her, I don't know. Ha! Apparently swarming was a good choice of word in this case, as the god she's praying to, Lurid Cresthearts, is a male cave spider god associated rather unsurprisingly with caverns and mountains. Though not quite to everybody's taste, I can't help but approve of the delightfully dwarvish associations. Even if she prays alone. Not even the terminally supportive Faff can muster up a few nice words to the leggy god. Speaking of Faff, here she is enjoying the festivities. She's been a little lax in her charcoal drawings of late, though she did do those 2 quick sketches for us of the Brothers Blue. I would like to see more from her, and I'm very hopeful that this downtime will give her the motivation to create again. But yes, here she is, perfectly happy to socialise with the majority in the Armoured Peach. Oh, come on! Not you too, Faff. What could you possibly be storing? See, nothing in her items to store. Oh, that's it. We're taking a look in these pots. Okay, here we go. Please don't be filled to the brim with mayonnaise. Fish. It's just fish. Well, okay, there's some other stuff, but this is fine. Even explains why the cats are back and two. Oh, what a relief! Do you know, I'd actually begun to believe that the cats were taking over. Silly, I know. Crevfest has been an absolute success. Everyone's mood has increased. Well, except for Nish, who was already giddy as a lottery winner. We'll let the dwarves welcome in the first sprouts of spring and then get back to work. It's impossible to deny now that I am excited to see the boat finished. Still a lot of work to do. Build some bedrooms, add a temple, finish the mast. Not forgetting the logistical hurdles outside of simply building the boat. Linking the supports to a lever, creating the sluices to fill the dry dock, clearing the land before the dock to allow the boat access to the lake. We're a good while from anything resembling a maiden voyage, and there's still the day-to-day running of a dwarven fortress to worry about. Ah, yes, lots and lots of work to do. Then here our dwarves are, frolicking frivolously. Well, that's quite enough of that. Back to work! The first and most important thing to do is deal with everybody's craving for cow cheese. I'm being silly, of course. This being actual cheese from a cow. There's sheep cheese too. Have you noticed, if it isn't goat, mentioning the animal of origin just makes it sound icky? But at least it isn't locum cheese. Secondly, we have a small hospital. A well was something we didn't have, and the dwarves are all whinging about a lack of martial activities. So I figured it would be intelligent to have some healthcare arranged before we get them into groups to train. It's not done, really. Still needs a chest and some traction tables, but it's got a door to what I plan to be a little lakeside veranda, which is nice. Do you know, I could have sworn we had a decent medical dwarf. Never mind. No, and here's a look at the roof. Last and by no means least, here you can see the dwarves all banding together to establish precisely what I hadn't planned on. A booming clothing empire. 4 years with no replacements has it looking like the dwarves are wearing fishing nets, which does tend to sting the retinas. The burrow had to lose a few more internal walls, but the workshops fit in marvellously. Though it is terribly sad that my plans for subterranean living and working spaces never played out. And yes, I know they literally sleep and work below the surface for the most part. But I did have such wonderful plans for a proper dwarven fortress. Never mind. They'll just have to be plans for the future. I've tasked our little friends with clearing up the dog problem and adding leather to the wool we've gotten from the sheep. With these and a few spools of pigtail thread, we'll be up to our eyeballs in socks, trousers, vests and dresses before you can say, yes, that is a specialised stockpile for dog bits to prevent a repeat of the dog rot debacle. A spoiler alert, it isn't going to work. I mean, really. What's the point in carefully removing the nervous tissue if you're just going to leave it dangling around the place like slippery Christmas lights? Hello, Your Highness. Is it that time of year again already? Ha! Well, we'll be requesting clothing, because the leather didn't stretch, plus thread and cloth, for the same reason. Relic Shimmered are asking for legwear, because of course they are. And we're going to skim over the trading this year. Nothing really interesting enough to mention. Yes, I am still annoyed from last year. I have exciting news. The boat is finished. Yes. We're going to do an overview of the entire glorious project now, starting with the hold. Here it is, stuffed with items in satisfying rank and file. I've actually witnessed Solon weep at the sight of it. and then above, where we can see the boat's mess, which is anything but. Decorated now by more statues of geese, sculpted of course by our own Degel. It's never quite as busy as the armoured peach, but we prefer it that way. Up another level, you can see we've added chests and statues of dwarves to the small temple, hatch covers to the access stairs for below, and 4 sparse bedrooms. Onwards and indeed upwards, more bedrooms, smaller than below, to allow for a couple extra, the continuation of the mast, and 6 microclined statues of cats overlooking the temple. Up again, then we have the upper decks of both the forecastle and the stern, hemmed by the dwarves' idea of fencing, that is to say fortifications. Above that is only the mast, including what will be rigging spars. The mast continues for quite a ways up, probably taller than is needed, to be quite honest. But they were enjoying themselves, so I didn't want to interject. And then back down to the deck. The boat is an absolute beauty. I can admit when I am wrong, and in this case I was most definitely wrong. The dwarves are already putting their minds to the task of floating it, so I shouldn't imagine we'll have to wait much longer. I'll tell you one thing that absolutely can't wait anymore is the dwarves' martial training. I'm fed up with the moaning. Perhaps a couple of good whacks with the training weapons will set them straight. To that end, I've created 2 separate training areas and split the dwarves into 2 squads. We have the pulpy plants, led by Nish, and containing Solon, Fath, Nil, Locum, and Degel. And then the wet wrath, led by a surprisingly keen Olon, with Kubak, Dodok, Kib, Mebzath, and Thob under them. The squads will train on rotation, 3 months of pulpy plants, then 3 of wet wrath. So we still have hands to do real work. Phew! We've completed an awful lot this year, haven't we? Which, considering this was supposed to be a year of relaxation and festivities, is a real surprise. Ha! That's a good point, you know. We were going to... No, it's better that we got it done. 1 step closer to floating the boat, so we shouldn't complain. The boat. Oh, we can't keep calling it that now it's complete. No, I know. The series has been going a lot better than I had ever hoped or imagined. I've almost got more people subscribed than I could fit in my home, which is very exciting. So I'll ask all of you. What do you think we should call it? Add a comment and I'll pick the one I like best. Though, please do refrain from saying Boaty McBoatface. I would be obliged to not have to think about 2016 ever again. Gosh, I'm tired. Maybe I'll have a little festival all my own. Ooh, Beldurad denush ta shemaramur. Ooh, ooh. Locan, demonol, I go to simar sebsur. Do do doodly do 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 dee do do doodly do.